hungry for? What are you thinking about? What are you trying to get after? What's like driving you? What's like lighting you up?
Everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to get to that higher level.
I want to get better at this. I no longer want to just maintain.
Now it fires me up. Now I have the confidence to be like.
Welcome to the Hungry Dog Podcast. What is a hungry dog? A hungry dog is focused. A hungry dog is driven. A hungry dog is motivated. What are you hungry for? Are you ready to come run with the pack?
What is up, guys? My name is Marissa Alpal, and I run Made Well by Marissa, where I work one-on-one with clients for personalized nutrition coaching, no matter what your goals are or what your fitness level is. I believe everybody should have the proper tools to live a healthy lifestyle. So if you are interested, look in the show notes for my information. I'd love to get started working with you.
What's up, dogs? Welcome to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. We have another new friend with us today, continuing from the Commonwealth Championship, the last episode that I did with Molly. Third time's a charm, as we were just saying. What's up? Thank you for joining us today. Aaliyah, how are you out in the dirty Jers?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, dude. Freezing right now. That's why I got this hoodie on. Like, I wake up every morning and the weather is just like it's like playing whodunit, you know? You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, it's been wild. I'm still waiting for snow.
Don't say that. I had a dream the other night that snow was coming and I was like, yo, please now. I just can't handle that right now. If that could be like a 2021 thing, that'll be a lot better because like there's enough going on right now. I don't want to walk outside, there's snow on the ground. Like if it's a little bit, that's fine, but like I can't get hit with a blizzard right now. I can't handle it, you know?
See, I grew up in California and I didn't actually see snow for the first time until I was like 25. So
that's awesome. I wish that I could have missed that on it. Like, so that was a few years ago. So you've been around for some big blizzards then.
Yeah. I actually totaled a car in a blizzard a couple of years ago and then got stuck in a blizzard a year later and had to be driven home by a cop.
What? That's like a good ending to a bad story. You know, at least he was there for you.
Yeah.
All right, dude. So let's take it back and talk about how I have you on, how we met. So, guys, a few weeks ago there was a CrossFit competition in Allentown, PA, and it's one of the first in-person ones in the local area that I know of since all the shutdowns have happened. So it was like a little bit less attended. So they were trying to get some good athletes in there. And then lo and behold, Aaliyah shows up there and she's kicking ass in the RX division. So taking it back a lot, how did you get into CrossFit, dude?
So I actually started out at a strength and conditioning gym in California. I absolutely hated exercise. I hated any form of activity.
Getting out of breath.
Yeah. I had been a dancer and a gymnast like throughout my childhood. Okay. About halfway through high school, I quit both of those, went to college, ended up joining ROTC for the Army in college.
Nice.
And then they, occasionally forced me to do some sit-ups and things. But then I graduated and I was like, I'm done. I hate exercise because pretty much all we did was running, and who likes running anyway? Yeah. But I sat around for like 10 months, maybe after graduation, started getting pretty out of shape. And then I realized that very shortly I was going to have to pass PT test for the Army. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I need to do something about this. Yeah. So there was a new gym opening up next to the place where I was working. It was Davis Strength and Conditioning, and it looked kind of cool. So I was like, oh, I'll check it out. Grabbed a flyer. Didn't really do anything with it. And then maybe like a month or two later, it was a Thursday night. I was drunk. And
hey, Thursday, lead a CrossFit. That's funny. Or lead the fitness. Like,
I should send that place an email.
Yeah.
So I sent them an email Thursday night. They responded Thursday night, and they were like, hey, we've got a class tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Come on by.
Oh man.
So Thursday night, drunk Aaliyah says, "Yeah, let's go to the gym at 6 a.m. tomorrow." So I showed up.
Oh, that's rough.
Almost died. Nobody thought I was going to come back, but Monday morning I was back.
From Friday to Monday. What do you remember your first workout? Remember the workout that day?
I don't. I wish I did. I just remember it was absolutely miserable and I loved it. But I loved it because of the people. So, it wasn't a traditional CrossFit gym, but it was very similar in like the community aspect. And, it's my first day there and everybody's like, "Yeah, good job, Aaliyah." Like I'm the last one finishing the workout and everybody's standing there cheering me on. Yeah. So it was really cool. And I was like, I want to go back to see the people. Yeah. So I was there for a couple of years and around 2016, I moved out to New Jersey to start grad school. And when I moved out here, I wanted to continue doing weightlifting because I had started learning the Olympic lifts before I left. But I really couldn't find anywhere to do that except a CrossFit gym. So I ended up joining a CrossFit gym. So I started out at CrossFit Nassau in Princeton back in 2016. And I was there for probably 8 months, maybe. Did the 2017 Open and actually ended up, was it 2017?
That was a double dumbbell year where they put 2 dumbbells into it, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the year, whatever year started with the snatches and burpee box jump overs.
That was 17. Yeah. So that was the first year they put a dumbbell into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was that year. And I ended up finishing top 1,000 in the Northeast region back when they still had regionals.
Yeah, buddy. That's what everyone was looking at. Like, how are you doing in the region? If you weren't like a games level athlete, that was what was up.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. I was like, hey, like I finished top 1,000 in the region. Maybe I'm actually kind of good at this.
Yeah.
So I ended up, my roommate at the time was over at CrossFit Hamilton, and I had dropped in with her a couple times, and just the caliber of athlete they had there was incredible. And it was a group of people that wanted to be competitive. So I was like, maybe I got to check this gym out. So I ended up switching over to CrossFit Hamilton that year, and that's where I've been ever since. It's now known as BoFit Community. But yeah, I've been there ever since, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have so many questions about like the journey. First, before we go into fitness, what were you studying like when you're for your undergrad? When you said that that's like around the time that you wanted to get into working out, as you're finishing up college.
In undergrad, I got my degree in neurobiology, physiology, and behavior.
Okay.
I was pre-med in undergrad, actually, and I thought I was going to go to med school and be a doctor for the Army. After I graduated, I quickly realized that I did not want to go to med school and be a doctor. But I ended up working in research after grad school or after med school or after undergrad.
So much school.
Right? It never ends.
Yeah.
I ended up working in neuroscience research after undergrad, and that's kind of what kickstarted my progress into research in grad school.
Nice. When you were in the what made you join the ROTC actually going into college?
So the summer before my freshman year of college, I got a recruiting letter in the mail. Nice. And it was like, join ROTC, we'll pay for your undergrad.
Yeah.
And I showed it to my mom and kind of laughed about it. And I was like, hey, Mom, I could join the Army. And she was like, haha, good joke. And then my dad saw the letter and he was like, this is actually something that you could seriously consider.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't be in the Army. I can't do that stuff. Like, that's like G.I. Joe, G.I. Jane. That's not me.
Yeah.
He's like, Aaliyah, oh no. He's like, Aaliyah, the Army is not meant for superhumans. It's meant for the average person.
Yeah.
And, it's a great opportunity. You can at least try it out. And he was telling me that one of his biggest regrets is that he didn't serve his country in some way, shape, or form when he was younger. And I figured if I had the opportunity and I didn't at least try it, I would also regret it.
Yeah.
So I joined the
sure.
program my freshman year just to try it out. I hadn't signed a contract or anything. Tried it out for a year, ended up really enjoying it. And at the end of my freshman year, I applied for a scholarship. And I got a 3-year scholarship. But in order to accept the scholarship, that's when you have to sign your contract and commit to the Army.
Yeah.
So after my freshman year, I signed my contract. They paid for my last 3 years of undergrad, which was great. Now here I am, 7.5 years later in the Army.
So was the contract for this whole like 7.5, 8 years, or once you finished college, was it like ending and you decided to re-enlist into the full Army?
Normally how it works is when you do ROTC, you commit 5 years, either active duty Army or actively drilling in the National Guard or Reserves. And then for the last 3 years of your contract, because usually it's an 8-year contract, and for the last 3 years, you can go into the inactive ready reserve, which basically means you show up once a year to show them that you're still alive and can still be contacted and called up if necessary, but you don't really do anything besides that. Because I got a scholarship, part of my contract stipulated that I had to do all 8 years active duty or actively drilling. So right now I'm in the New Jersey National Guard. I started out in the California National Guard, but I have been active in the National Guard since I graduated in 2013. My commitment will be up in June of 2021, so next year. But right now I don't have any plans to get out.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be my next thing. Do you plan to make it a lifelong thing now? And because just like you were saying before, just like your dad was saying, like people think that it's like this super soldier type thing, but it's like no, there's so many people that build military careers without maybe being boots on the ground. Like there's a wealth of opportunities for careers wise. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So right now. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would tell you that I couldn't wait to get out. But I actually think, so I deployed last year in 2019. And then when I came back from the deployment, a couple months later, I was activated for the COVID response in New Jersey. So the New Jersey National Guard was activated to help run testing sites, support the veterans' homes and some long-term care facilities, things like that. And I spent 4 months activated for the COVID response. And by the time that was over, I was kind of just sitting there and I was like, wow, that was really awesome. To be a part of something like that, just to see the impact that we could make as the National Guard. Because it is unique to the National Guard. The National Guard is the only branch of the military that can be activated within the United States. And so it's really cool that, we have this kind of regular Army mission with all of like the overseas stuff that the rest of the military does. But then we also have this secondary mission at home. And it's really cool to like see that and be able to help the community. And it was very rewarding and I learned a ton, and that kind of just made me realize that I actually really enjoy the things that I do in the Army, and I would like to continue doing it as long as possible.
Got reinvigorated. One of my close friends, he's a captain, and he is so what I was going to say is going from being wanted to be a military doctor, now like military scientist is cool. So one of my close friends, he's a military scientist, he's a captain, and he works, I think he works in, does he work in neuroscience also? He works at Merck. I'm not sure what he does. He's way smarter than me. And he loves it. And everywhere he goes, whenever he sends me an email, the list is just so long of all his titles and stuff. And I'm like, all right, dude, I get it. You're amazing.
Oh my gosh.
He's always saying, he's like, yeah, man, it was my decision to join the Army, changed my life. I'm like, it's great, brother. So we just talked about so many cool things. We're not even down to fitness yet. That's awesome. So now you're out in Jersey. The 4 months happened. I guess we can kind of bring it up to like the present day. What was it like for you outside of being able to kind of serve the community during like quarantine and shutdowns? Like, were you able to work out still? Like, did you have a special area you're able to get to?
Yeah, so I still had some workout equipment that I could use. I had a coach that was working with me. I was able to at least maintain my fitness.
Yeah. Stay on
So
track,
I was able to still lift and stuff like that. So it wasn't too terrible.
Right. That's good. So I lifted at home, but remember it was freezing in March. Like it's like it got nice once the lockdown stopped, and then right as we're about to kind of maybe go back into lockdown, it's getting cold again. We kind of got bookended by two cold fronts on both sides. I watched my old videos from when I was lifting outside, and like I had like full tights on plus sweatpants, like the full thing, hoodie, like beanie outside. Oh, it's just rough, man. But so you're able to still work out. That's good. So you had a sense of purpose and you're able to work out. Well, there's a lot of people that, were telling me they were like falling apart because they didn't have anything to go do, and then they also couldn't like lift or anything like that.
So for probably like the first month or two of quarantine, my motivation was I was on a team and we were planning on doing the qualifier for the Asbury Park Summer Games and the Granite Games when that was still a thing.
That was like the last week before. Yeah, because Marissa was doing it at my gym like the weekend before shutdown.
Yeah. And then they kept pushing it back. And then finally they just cut it completely. After that, I was like, all right, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So
I don't have any goals in mind right now.
Yeah, it was kind of like a soul searching process of what's motivating me to keep doing this. But I think for me, at least, I love training. Even if I don't have anything specific that I'm training for, I just love exercising, being in the gym when the gym is open. And just like, I just love it. It's what keeps me happy. It's a stress release. It keeps me sane. So even if there's not like a specific goal down the road at a particular time, I still just love being in there.
Yeah, same for sure. So when did that switch flip for you? Like loving training? Because you say you go in there at day one, you loved it. How did that transformation start to happen? Day one, you start to love it. And then you say, 2018, 17, you did the open. What was the time period like that in between, like learning the skills, getting stronger?
Yeah. So I mean, what kept me going back initially was the people. Like I said, I almost died the very first workout I did.
I feel that. Yeah.
It was probably my first 6 months to a year in the gym. I was so out of shape that it was absolutely miserable, but I loved the people, and that's what kept me coming back. And then when I started kind of getting past that initial, like, okay, I'm not quite as out of shape as I was, I can kind of move a little bit. And then I started getting into lifting. And I think lifting is what did it for me. And just like being able to see what my body is capable of. So I actually started out powerlifting, and back at my gym in California, I actually did a powerlifting competition before I moved out to New Jersey. But just like, powerlifting, you can do that without having as much of the technique as you need for like the weightlifting. So it's really good when you're starting out, because it's just raw strength. Like how much weight can you move?
Building that base. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was really cool to like start getting into the powerlifting and seeing my numbers constantly increasing. And I was like, wow, this is actually like, I can, at the time I PR'd my deadlift before I left California at like 325. Nice. I was like, I can lift 325 pounds off the ground. That's so cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love that attitude, man. That's sweet. So you did a powerlifting meet right before you left. So you pulled 325. How much did you squat and bench?
Oh, let's see. I think my squat at the meet was maybe like 280, maybe somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit lower. I don't remember anymore. And then my bench, I do remember my bench because I was really upset that I couldn't match my gym PR because my gym PR was 200 at the time.
Yeah.
But in the meet, I pressed 185. But that was a record for my age and weight class for the American Powerlifting Association. So that was cool.
Yeah. Leaving the West Coast with a little bit of a record, that's sweet. What's your favorite lift? Like you can ollie lift, power lift, whatever one.
I really like snatching, and that's just because my cleans need a lot of work.
Yeah, I feel that. I love to have people on the podcast that prefer to snatch.
I'm starting to learn to love the clean. I just PR'd both my snatch and my clean and jerk a couple days ago during the Army Warrior Fitness Team qualifier. So that was cool.
Is that what you're working on right now? Is the qualifier over?
So we're in the qualifier right now. This is getting towards the end of week 1. Tuesday will be the end of week 1. And then on Tuesday, they'll release 2 more workouts for week 2. And then at the end of week 2, it's 4 workouts total. So based on placement in the qualifier and your fitness resume, they invite a group of individuals to go to Fort Knox for the tryouts.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're putting, is that the thing where they're putting together like a team to like throw down with the fittest in the world or whatever? I saw like that post out there.
Yeah. So it's actually the team that Chandler Smith is on right now.
Yeah.
So they started the team, I think about 2 years ago, and Chandler Smith and what's his name? Sergeant Pfaff. I don't remember what his first name is. A couple other, I think they have like 8 or 9 on the team right now for CrossFit. So they were the first iteration of the team. But for the officers, it's usually a 2-year assignment. So they're getting towards the end of their 2 years, and basically they're trying to fill those slots on the team. And I think maybe trying to grow the team a little bit because now they've realized that it's like a viable product.
Yeah.
So
that's sweet. Oh man, that's so cool. So what was the first week's workouts?
So the first workout was actually an open workout. It was 14.4, which is
whatever. If it's gonna be from 14, it's gotta be awful. Let's hear this.
It was a 14-minute AMRAP of 60 calorie row, 50 toes to bar, 40 wall balls, 30 power cleans, and 20 muscle ups.
Oh, I've done that one. I know. I liked it when I did it because that's what I was into, more cardio. But no, that's yuck. I would never want to do that now.
I did it twice.
Oh my God! And what like 4 days time period?
Yeah, Tuesday and yesterday. Got the exact same score both times.
Ooh, one of our other coaches at the gym did that, and you know what he did it with? He did it with Heavy Diane from the Open, where it was like Diane on the front side, and then on the back side, it's like the 315 bar and handstand walking.
Yeah,
he did it Friday, Saturday, and got the exact same score, exact same time.
Or he did that back to back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's reckless like that. He did Murph twice in one morning one time. He's a nut. He's always on the top of the leaderboard for the PA Whoop group.
Okay.
He's learned to back down now. He needs to relax. But so, oh my God, how did that go? Was that workout your jam? What kind of workouts do you like?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I really, really wanted to finish the muscle ups.
Yeah.
I ended up getting 15 of the 20 both times I did it, which was a 5-rep PR from the last time I did it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I haven't really done a lot of muscle up volume training since March, probably.
Yeah.
So given the circumstances, I'm happy with it.
The high level of fatigue going to the muscle ups was, you said it's 14 minutes. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. So, and it's like, the row is fatiguing your pull and your core. The toes to bar are fatiguing your grip and your core. The wall balls are fatiguing your shoulders. The power cleans are fatiguing your grip, your pull, your core.
Yeah.
And then you have a fatigued grip, pull, core, shoulders, and now you go and try to do muscle ups.
Oh, yuck. So after the powerlifting meet, we get back into that. We got a tangent. That's like talk about lifting, which is I love lifting tangents. Powerlifting meet, you start working out. It's at a powerlifting strength and conditioning gym. When do you get back into cardio? It's funny you say that because I mean the Army is the world's biggest run club. So
Yeah.
when
Honestly.
did you start running up more? Did you start doing cardio? When did that come back into it?
So the strength and conditioning gym, we had a bigger focus on strength, but we still did a decent amount of conditioning. So generally the classes were set up so that there was a strength portion at the beginning, and then we would do some sort of conditioning piece at the end.
Yeah.
So I did get some conditioning work while I was there. And actually for I think 2 years that I was there, the Army's PT test ends with a 2-mile run.
Yeah.
And from when I started at that strength and conditioning gym to when I left California, I had decreased my 2-mile run time by like 2.5 minutes. And the farthest I was running was maybe a 400 or an 800 meter run in a workout.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. If you know, like Chris Henshaw from Aerobic Capacity, I like took one of his mini courses one time, and he was talking about like CrossFitters might run a max of 5,000 meters in like over a week's time period. If you have like, if it's nice outside and you have a bunch of running workouts, maybe 5,000 meters. But with the intensity that they bring to that, like they increase their domains and their times by a lot more than someone that's doing like high volume run training, because that person's not bringing the same amount of intensity to every run like a CrossFitter is. So that's funny that you just naturally kind of have to acclimate to running now, even though all the people that tend to be like better lifters when you first start CrossFit, you're like, all right, dude, I don't want to do this burpee nonsense, like box jumps. What's going on? You know, I like my calves. I don't want to blow them out.
I used to curse out my coach every time he programmed burpees. I would be so mad every time.
Yeah. I tried to get one of my friends to do burpees with me the other day, just because it's like sometimes I just want like some super efficient like fitness. You know, they're like, nah, I came here to lift with you. I didn't come to do burpees in this nonsense. Oh man. But for me, I always get back into like the mode like around the open time when it's like 100 days out from the open. I'm like, all right, I want to start hitting stuff hard again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really need to get back in shape to be able to hang with the people at the gym again.
So that's like right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm exactly. Even though today's rest day, tomorrow I'll try to get back to it. So you said you did gymnastics and you said you did dance also growing up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was.
So were you a competitive person then?
Yeah, I was a competitive gymnast and a competitive dancer.
Nice. So tell me about that. Like, tell me about your competitive attitude background, not so much like what you did like sport wise. What's your mindset been like when it goes time to go compete? Like when you signed up the night before for Commonwealth, were you ready?
Yeah, honestly, I was super excited about that. The competition was Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday night, I got an Instagram message that was like, hey, you want to compete this weekend?
Yeah.
So initially I was like, what? That's in 2 days. But then I was like, that could be kind of fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I love any and every opportunity to do fitness. And if I can do that in a competitive environment, it's even more fun.
Yeah.
I think not necessarily because I'm competing against other people, but it pushes me to compete even more against myself.
Yeah.
So, I will go into each workout with an idea of what I want to do or how I want to do it. And then it's like me versus me. Like, can I actually do what I'm intending to do?
Right.
So it's just really fun. I like the environment and, get to meet new people.
Yeah.
It was awesome meeting all you guys. And that's my favorite part about the competitions is just meeting people.
Yeah. Just
So
in this world in general, because like even you moving from Cali to Jersey, like even though you had like a reason to do it and you had like a place to go, it's still like with the fitness world, whether it be powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, or CrossFit, all three of those worlds are worlds that you can just kind of walk into a new space and find that like familiarity, So.
Yeah, that was huge when I moved out here. I mean, I moved out to New Jersey. My entire family was still in California. I didn't know anybody out here. I came out here completely on my own. And, I met people in my grad program, but even before that, the very first people I met were at the gym. And it was just instant second family. Like,
right.
and that's the cool thing about CrossFit really is, like you said, you can go anywhere and it's just an immediate
find a little bit of home,
Yeah. So
sick.
It's been
nice.
Do
you do any coaching over at the gym?
I've always wanted to, and it's never really worked out for one reason or another. For a while, I was trying to get my L1 certification. I had signed up probably 3 times and had to cancel all 3 times. I think the first 2 times, I ended up having to go to Army training or whatever during the L1 weekend. And then the 3rd time, they actually canceled on me because of COVID.
Oh yeah.
So
my intern, he's going to get his in like 2 weeks.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's like, dude, I'm hoping that it's still in person. But he told me last night that they're offering now an online one that's gonna last for 3 years instead of the full 5 or whatever.
Yeah, I was looking into that. It's a CrossFit OL1.
Yeah.
So they qualify it with that O.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. But I also think that, I mean, personally, I would prefer to do it in person because I think you get a lot more out of it in person.
Oh, the experience, you need that. I did a certification online, my USAW level 2. And like, that's one thing, I would have preferred to do that in person, but the CrossFit level 1, you definitely need to do that in person.
Yeah. So maybe one day it'll finally work out with my schedule.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's a big part of the community, and people that are super involved in the life, giving that part. It doesn't have to be that you love to teach fitness and training and all that stuff, but giving back to the community in the sense of, adding to it like that is good for people that are like in it as much as you.
Yeah. And I had actually, my plan before COVID was to actually start coaching at the gym this year. But when I got activated for the COVID mission, that was like a 24/7 thing. And I just didn't have the time. And then actually out of that mission, I was offered a full-time position with the New Jersey National Guard. So I'm working full-time for the New Jersey National Guard right now. And
nice.
It's been so wild with everything going on with COVID. And like, I just don't have the time right now. I so wish I did. And I'm hoping that one day I'll get to a point where I do have the time to start coaching.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
I mean, you're supporting the community in another way right now. So I mean, it's not like you're just lacking right now or being lazy. You are doing something for the community. So that's awesome though. Still,
Yeah.
That's great. So what are you working on in grad school? What's your area of focus right now?
Well, I actually left my first program. So I'd moved out here for a PhD program in neuroscience.
Okay.
I was there for about 2.5 years, and I finished my master's degree, and I left the program with my master's because I realized that scientific research is just not what I want to do. I was pretty miserable. And I think anybody who is in grad school or has been in grad school, especially in science, can attest to that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
ones, zeros, and letters. That's what it is.
But I finished my master's in October of 2018. I deployed in 2019. And then while I was deployed, I started an online master's program through Rutgers. So right now I am in a supply chain management master's program. So completely different, but
Okay.
I'm a little over halfway through right now. So yeah.
So what are you working towards? What do you want to do with this next beginning chapter of your life?
Still trying to figure that out.
Right.
The supply chain management program is cool because yes, it's supply chain, but it's also a lot of just like overarching management concepts. So like over the summer, I took Lean Six Sigma, which was really cool. I am hopefully going to be taking project management pretty soon. So just a lot of like management techniques that can apply to supply chain management, but also broadly to management in general.
Yeah.
And so that has actually been really helpful in the Army, because a lot of what officers do in the Army is management.
Yeah, project management, overseeing different units and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
do you think a career in that would keep you moving around a lot?
In supply chain management or in the Army?
In the Army, if you took your supply chain management and you now apply that to the Army and you're running a lot of different projects or whatever sense of whatever, because in my head, I hear that I'm like, okay, so a high skilled person like yourself, the Army takes you and they're like, okay, now we want you to do all these good things that we're going to do,
Yeah. So the cool thing about being in the National Guard is that it's state specific. So
Yeah.
right now I'm in the New Jersey National Guard. So like they could move me around New Jersey, but I'm pretty much committed to New Jersey right now, unless I decided to move to a different state and join a different state's National Guard. So I mean, there's always opportunities to, go to the National Guard Bureau in DC or go overseas and things like that. But if I wanted to stay in one area, I also have that option.
Before you lived in, are these the only two states you've lived in, California and Jersey?
Yeah.
So that's crazy that you just made that coast to coast shift like that. Would you see yourself doing that again? Like making a big change again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love New Jersey, which people call me crazy for saying that. They're like, why? Who leaves California to go to New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a little crazy. But that's a shift that's good for some people, like now you get to experience snow, like you said at the beginning.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love New Jersey, and especially during the COVID mission, I really kind of developed like a really strong connection to this state, and I really like it here. But I could definitely see myself moving again somewhere, who knows where.
Right.
Wherever life takes me.
Yeah. What was I going to say next? So, dude, tell me this. I guess there's a story behind you watching Star Wars after college. Can I hear this before we end the podcast, please?
All right. So, for the longest time, you know how like when you get into a new group or something like that, it's always like, oh, tell us one fun fact about yourself. So my fun fact for probably the first 23 years of my life was that I had never seen Star Wars.
Oh, that's a sad fact. That's what I would call that.
I mean, I like sci-fi, but I'm not like super into it. So I was okay with never having seen Star Wars.
What are you into?
I don't know. Everything, but
oh, come on. Have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
Yes. Yeah, okay, I did watch Game of Thrones.
All right, that's cool though.
Yeah, I was super into Game of Thrones. It took me until they were on season 8 to get into Game of Thrones, but I loved it.
So wait, so someone got you into it once season 8 started, but like you didn't watch season 8 first, right?
No. I actually binged seasons 1 through 7 so that I could watch the season 8 premiere. So I finished season 7 like the day of the season 8 premiere. Yeah.
No, that's fine. So many people did that. It became like that big thing, so many people did that.
Yeah. But yeah, so after college, I had a couple friends who every time Star Wars came up, they were like, we have to fix this. You have to see Star Wars.
For sure, they're good people.
So one day, the three of us had a Star Wars viewing party.
Yeah.
So we went to my friend's house and we watched all 6 movies in one day, while also drinking. So to be honest, I've seen all 6 Star Wars movies, but I probably only remember the first 2.
I know Darth Vader comes into play at some point. You know, there's a little green guy. I forget which movies he's in. That's cool. Yeah, it's like, come on, science nerd in the bio. You got to be into Star Wars. I'm like a literature history nerd. You know, the nerds got to bond together over our new nerd properties. What about Lord of the Rings?
I have seen, I think, the first 2. I don't think I ever saw the last one.
Yeah, it's fine. That's the last one's good, but it's like, yeah, you got the gist already. Yeah. If you've seen the first 2. I
saw the first Hobbit movie. That was really good.
Okay. Are you including that in your count of the first 2?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so you know your stuff. That's awesome. All right, Leah, so let's get down to it. Let's finish off with my last question for you. What are you most hungry for right now?
Oh, I am ready for the Open. I'm ready to compete. I am ready to see finally where I stack up against the competition, because it's been a couple years since I've really been able to test that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. I was just thinking too, when we were talking about it earlier, like you're talking about the Army like fitness experience, like all these online qualifiers are taking shape of, and the first one that I know about is the Open. You know,
yeah.
So who thought that model was going to transform into all these things years later? You know?
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, actually, he's been doing CrossFit since 2011, and he's like, when they brought up the Open and they first started, he's like, I hated that idea. He's like, there's gonna be people out there that cheat and all this stuff, and then like once the first year went by, he's like, oh, I love this. This is great. Because you see what happens in the affiliates and what it does for your community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it too. It's Open Magic season, man. I'm glad it's back in February. I hope they bring like maybe some regionals back. It'd be cool to watch those again, you know?
Yeah.
But I think this season in CrossFit's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see where they take it. I'm excited for the new CEO, Eric. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I love all the things he's doing.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this season.
Yeah. You know what's funny? You know what I just got a memory of? Remember the CrossFit liftoff?
Yeah.
That used to be a thing, man. I hope he brings that back, dude. That would be
fun.
Sweet. Yeah, I
Team
just got a
series
memory
was
from
really
that.
Fun too.
Yeah, because they were connected. Oh man, I forgot all about that stuff, man. They should bring that back. That'd be so sweet.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, buddy. All right,